The room erupted in applause when my coworker presented my idea as his own. I sat quietly in the back, watching my boss congratulate him. He thought he had stolen 6 months of my work. What he didn't know was that I had already prepared for the day he'd try to take credit. For 6 months, I had been working on a new system that could dramatically reduce shipping delays for our company. I wasn't a manager. I wasn't the loudest person in the office. I was simply the employee who stayed late because I genuinely believed the project could work. Every evening, I tested numbers, fixed mistakes, and improved the proposal. Eventually, I had something I was proud of. My manager, Daniel, seemed impressed. "This could save the company a fortune," he told me. I thought that was the beginning of something great. Then Daniel introduced the project to a senior employee named Marcus. Marcus was confident, popular, and very good at making himself look important. At first, he seemed supportive. He asked me questions about the system. He requested copies of my charts. He wanted to understand how the numbers worked. I didn't think anything of it. That was my first mistake. 2 weeks later, our department held an important meeting. I arrived early and opened my laptop. Then Marcus walked into the conference room carrying a presentation. I immediately recognized the first slide. It was mine. The second slide was mine too. Then came my charts, my calculations, even the wording I had written in my original proposal. I looked at Marcus. He smiled. Then he began presenting. My team developed a new strategy. My team. I couldn't believe it. He didn't mention my name once. The room filled with questions, and Marcus answered them confidently. When the presentation ended, our director stood up and shook his hand. "Excellent work, Marcus." Everyone applauded. I sat there completely silent. But I didn't confront him. Instead, I opened my laptop and checked something very carefully. Every original file was still there, every revision, every timestamp, every email. And suddenly, I realized something. Marcus had stolen the presentation, but he hadn't stolen the history behind it. The next morning, Marcus walked past my desk. "Don't take it personally," he said quietly. I looked up. "Take what personally?" He laughed. "You know exactly what I mean." Then he leaned closer. "Management likes people who know how to lead." I understood his message. He believed the project belonged to him now. So I did something unexpected. I stopped talking about it. I didn't complain to coworkers. I didn't post anything online. I didn't send an angry email. Instead, I started organizing everything. Original drafts, meeting notes, data files, emails, project revisions, and most importantly, the internal records showing exactly when each part of the system had been created. I even created a simple timeline. 6 months of work, every step documented. Then I waited, because I had a feeling Marcus wasn't finished. I was right. 3 days later, the company announced a major leadership meeting. The CEO was attending. Marcus was scheduled to present the new shipping system. I wasn't even invited to the meeting. At least, that's what I thought. 10 minutes before it began, my manager rushed to my desk. "Come with me." "Why?" "The CEO has questions." My stomach dropped. I entered the conference room. Marcus was standing beside the giant screen. The CEO looked at me. "Are you the person who originally developed this system?" The room went silent. Marcus suddenly looked nervous. I didn't answer immediately. Then I said, "Yes." The CEO looked at Daniel. "Then I'd like her to explain how it works." Marcus interrupted. "I can explain it." The CEO calmly replied, "I didn't ask you." Everyone went silent. I walked toward the screen. For the first time, Marcus wasn't standing in front of my work. I was. I didn't insult Marcus. I didn't call him a thief. I simply presented the facts. I showed the original proposal, then the first revision, then the testing results, then the changes I had made over 6 months. The CEO asked questions. I answered every one. Then he asked Marcus a question. When did you first become involved with this project? Marcus hesitated. About 2 months ago. The CEO looked at the timeline. The project had been documented 4 months before Marcus ever became involved. Then the CEO asked, why does your presentation contain documents created months before you joined the project? Marcus had no answer. Daniel looked uncomfortable. The room became completely silent. Finally, Marcus said, I was helping develop it. The CEO shook his head. Helping isn't the same as creating. Then he turned toward me. Who gave you permission to use these materials? I looked at Daniel. And that's when another surprise appeared. Daniel admitted that he had sent Marcus my files without telling me. The situation was much bigger than I had realized. The CEO ended the meeting early. That afternoon, an internal review began. My files were examined. The emails were checked. The timestamps were verified. Everything matched. The company eventually confirmed that the project had originated with me. Marcus was removed from the presentation team. Daniel was also removed from the project because he had improperly shared my work without credit. But the CEO didn't stop there. He called me into his office. I want you to lead the implementation. I was stunned. You're offering me the project? No, he said. I'm offering you the department. I didn't expect that. For months, I had been trying to prove that my idea mattered. I had never imagined that someone would recognize my work without me having to shout for attention. 6 months later, the system was fully operational. The company saved millions in unnecessary shipping costs. My name was officially listed as the project's lead developer. Marcus eventually left the company. Daniel moved to another department, and I became the manager of the team I once sat quietly behind. One afternoon, I walked past the same conference room where Marcus had once presented my work as his own. I stopped for a moment. Then I smiled. I had learned something important. Sometimes the best response to someone taking credit for your work isn't to create a bigger argument. It's to keep the evidence, keep building, keep improving, and let the truth speak when the right person finally asks the right question. Because Marcus didn't lose his position because I destroyed him. He lost it because, when the truth was finally tested, he couldn't explain what he claimed to have created. Subscribe for more unforgettable stories of betrayal, revenge, and karma. Drop a comment below. I read every single one.